Hey, everybody. It is Rise and Thrive Together this Monday, January 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome to the Rise and Thrive Together live TV talk show and webcast. I am Regina Rossi and my sister Raquel Stuart. And before we get into this topic and extraordinary guest we have on tonight, let me just share with you a little bit about who Rise and Thrive Together is about. We are a vibrant community committed to educate and empower and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk, real actions, and real results. And how we do that is right here on this show. We're going to have a real conversation with you. We want you to conversate with us. So get onto those comments and put into anything that you have a question about, or an aha, or an insight, or that you have this burning statement. Please play along with us, because this is not about Raquel and I. It is about us as a community, how we can rise and thrive together and make the impact that we want in our lives right now. So, without any further ado, I'm excited to bring on my sister and my partner from business and in life. Hello, Raquel.
Hey, let's watch that in life thing. We are
Well, in
friends.
life, we are my friend for life. To clarify, she's my
Okay,
friend
thank
and
you.
sister for
Okay,
life.
awesome, awesome. Thank you. Hey, everyone. So January is almost over. I want to know, what have you done thus far in this month of January to start off your new year, to leap in to your new year? What have you done? What choices have you made? What audacious steps have you taken, or you have a plan to take? That's what we want to know. Let's get this kicking off right. Drop it in the chat. I want to know. We want to know. Inquiring minds want to know.
I love it. Why don't you tell them a little bit about, just in case you're stuck, just in case you're like, I've got something going on, and really, because I'm totally committed to this rise and thrive together and doing it alone. We're not meant to do that alone. And it makes a difference when you have at least one other person in your life to support you. Sis, you tell them about an opportunity of how they can either take their goal, vision, whatever's happening in their life, personally or professionally, to the next level. Or maybe they're just like, I'm not even sure about what you're talking about.
They're sure about what I'm talking about. However, we will be hosting, my sister Reg, myself, and our special guest, Patrick Richwood, will be hosting a webinar this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And our topic is Leap into the New Year. It will be online. There is still time to register, and you can register at riseandthrive.together.com/webinar. Super, super easy. There are three price levels. You pick. There's no difference, but we understand these are times where folks are watching their coins. So if you are ready to leap into the new year, and even if you're not, but you know you should do something, join us on Saturday, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Zoom. Once you register, you will get the link. So join us. Okay.
Awesome. Awesome,
And I
awesome,
just
awesome.
guys about our guest.
Go for it. Do you want to share who that is?
We just said it's Patrick Richwood. Patrick is a guest on a show. Patrick is a friend in our lives. Patrick is an actor. He is a coach. He has been on Broadway, movies, you name it. Patrick has been on it. And we are so excited to invite our brother on with us tonight. Patrick, how are you?
Hi. Thanks for that.
You're
I'm
welcome.
great. I'm great. It's so good to be here. I love this. Makes me so happy. I'm like, look at these faces. How can you not be happy?
So, what you guys are getting, these are the three people that will be hosting the webinar on. Saturday. If you've never, ever, ever seen a show with Patrick on it, you're in for a treat today. Patrick, you know, is going to drop some knowledge on us. I mean, Patrick is just a phenomenal person. He's coached Reg and I, and we truly, truly appreciate it. He's given us a clearer vision on exactly who we are and why we're here. So, Patrick, let's get started. You
Wow.
to this show.
So here's the question, Patrick. Let's just we jump in, right? We're talking about the upcoming webinar, and we're talking about leaping into the new year. So why don't you why don't the question is, what are you leaping into right now at this moment of 2024 that is taking you not to 2024, but is propelling you into 2025? What's happening in the world of Patrick Richwood?
Well, I'm leaping a little lower than usual because I've been sick. So my leaps are a little but I'm making it over the bar. Actually, you know what? I'm making up for it mentally because I am leaping. I'm taking a leap into I can, and just to be more specific, I found that I've been saying I can't more than I thought, more than I really realized. And I coach people out of that all the time and point it out, but you know how it is. You need a coach. So I realized I say all the time, I can't make a structure. That's for somebody else to do. I can't do it. And then when somebody else does it, then I go to work, I get into action, right? And somebody just recently pointed out to me, a friend said, what are you talking about? What do you say? Keep saying that. You did this, you did that, you did this, you did that. You create structures all the time. And I thought, of course, he's right. I remember somebody saying once, don't feed I saw a sign that said, don't feed the reptiles. And I mentioned it to somebody, and not to put down reptiles, but they were like, don't feed them. Feed the angels, don't feed the reptiles. And so I just replaced don't feed the demons, feed the angels. And it's just sort of similar. It's don't say I can't, say I can. And then just do it anyway. Even if it's not my, my natural, thing, my greatest gift to create structures. It's not where I live, but I can certainly do it and have done it. And then from there, you go. So I'm leaping into structure. I'm leaping into I can. And in order to do that, I got myself an accountability partner. I got myself a schedule with them. We put stuff into existence every Sunday, and then I go to it on through the week, and I have my checklist. And for me, that's pretty great. What's it leading to? It's leading to me on a TV series, on a big, wonderful, fabulous TV series where I'm collaborating with people who I love, who love me. And we're telling a story or stories that really matter to us and matter to our audience and make a difference in the world. And I can see that. I can really see that. In 2025, there I am. And it doesn't rule out other things. It doesn't rule out Broadway, and it doesn't rule out my coaching and my directing. I feel like this is the year to have it all.
Have it all.
Why not?
Wow. So,
I mean, why not? Why not? Who says we can't? Except the voice of somebody from our past, probably.
But my question is, what's so wrong with saying I can't? If you really and truly know that you can't, is there something wrong with saying I can't?
I love
Only
that.
I guess wrong is, relative. Wrong is sort of theoretical. But I guess what I think is that and tell me if you can, sort of relate to this with your own experience. Don't you find when you're saying I can't, it's one thing to try and go, wow, I've got to throw in the towel, right? And then actually get off of it and say, let me not be a terrier chasing my tail. Let me stop. Let me interrupt this. and find another way. Let me get creative, right? But to say I can't over and over, like I've been doing, didn't realize it. It's chipping away at you. It chips away at you from the back until it's a sort of a negative stab. It's like a thousand stabs. I think from the back where you're not noticing it, you know what I mean? Till finally you just bleed out. I mean, that's extreme because,
That's good.
we all have our support team. We've worked hard to have it, and we've worked hard to be mindful. So we're ahead of the game, right? Anybody that's being mindful is going to notice things, right? But that's what I mean by I got to stop saying I can't. It's not that I can't, that I'm not willing to throw in the towel when I'm getting too obsessed about it, you know, and I'm like, wait, hold on, just a sec. Or to say, why is this not going well? And then remind myself, well, because I'm writing with my left hand and I'm right-handed. But I can still get the message out, you know. I don't have to make myself wrong for not being left-handed and go, I can't. I just gotta I'll do the best I can and then move on. It's so much more conducive to the next thing. I can't becomes sort of a series of little stopping blocks that end up being a big wall of stop. And I can always seems to lead to another action, doesn't it?
I love that.
It always does, you know.
There's something.
So I feel like that's the difference.
No, finish up, Patrick.
That's it. I'm good.
So one of the things, if you guys have been watching the show and have seen Patrick before, definitely if you've been paying attention to Raquel and I, and if you're new, welcome, is we focus on a couple of areas. And really, Patrick, you got me clicked into the mindset. One of your truly incredible gifts that you have, right? It's a mindset. And so often it's that I can't, because I love this, sis. I've been looking at that. When it doesn't come from a powerful choice, right? Because it's often like this kind of automatic. It's so automatic. I hear myself saying it. I heard my daughter downstairs doing homework that she's done before, right? She's doing in class. She's home and reading it, and she made a mistake, right? She made a mistake. And she goes, I can't do this. You know, like it's automatic. Like I can't. And we took a breath, right? And Josh took a breath. Her dad took a breath with her and was like, okay, what can't you do? Because you just told us you did this in school, and this is just reinforcing it. And, you know, we had a conversation, and what she got to be aware of was she was upset with herself. She was upset with herself because she didn't get it right the first time. And boom, it was over. So you can just see that kind of continued old wiring. If it doesn't work out, the minute you try it, you know, wherever that came from, like you said, some old story way back ago that, you know, stays right in there. And it happens when you're a child, people. When you're a child and it's still in there, tried to ride your bike, you fell off. Your mind made it.
Can't ride a bike.
And that's it. But the truth is, like, right, I can't ride a bike, right? The fact is, you attempted to ride a bike and you fell off. Now, the second thing that came in, Patrick, was, so there's your mindset and the awareness, was community. Because, you know, we're a vibrant community. So thank goodness for the community that you're connected to that holds you accountable and listens for your greatness. Because they said, Patrick, what keeps on coming out of your mouth is I can't. Like, you know, like I can't. It's that little kid, whatever that mind made a decision of. And so all of that is great. But the I can't, you know, when it comes in from that space, when you really know that it's just like that, we're all wired to have an automatic 100% want it correct right away. And, you know, it's frustrating. That's that. Versus like really powerfully choosing at this moment in time, you know, it's like I'm choosing to take a moment, take a break, regroup, see if this really resonates, see if this is really the path, and be able to have a conversation and pivot. So that's really what comes up for me. And I'll just really share that, you know, being in this community with the three of them, and then also regularly with Raquel since, you know, May, has been this conversation of us, you know, wanting to be on stages and being motivational speakers. There wasn't even a moment in time that, you know, I noticed in the past couple of months, I haven't even shared this with her yet, you know, that it was like her vision. And you know, I'm a cheerleader. I will rise and thrive her anywhere to go. But this being, but like secretly, right?
You
So
will
the
rise and thrive
secret,
all over her.
all over her, right? But the secret was like, it was something she knows. We both have written in our bio, stated that we wanted. And like when I see her taking actions toward it and opportunities toward it, and then whatever that little girl is, like comparing myself and being like, you know, like the little baby sister watching the big sister go, you know, I could have not taken that opportunity, but being in this community and being with people and speaking life into it all the time. And I did. I got to speak on stage, guys, like this past
Yeah.
Saturday at the Global Vision Conference. And not even just for myself, but when it's something bigger, because again, Raquel and I saw something bigger in a 16-year-old. And again, that little voice was like, oh, she can't come. You know, like I wanted to invite her. I was like, this is so cool. She's so
She can't.
amazing.
She can't. There
Yeah.
it is again.
And like when you notice it and realize that that's a myth, that's a limiting belief, that's another part of us, that's a whole other different story. So that's the stuff, folks, that we do here in Real Talk, Real Actions, Real Results. And we do to support you like we are providing this, you know, weekend. So that's, I really appreciate that, Patrick. And sis, I just want to acknowledge everybody, acknowledge you then. I didn't show up on stage like for Regina. It is a community. It is us. And I just want to say thank you. Thank you for being that person that listens for me and holds me to my greatness.
Awesome. That was exciting.
Yeah, Raquel, you're that for everyone. So I thank you for that too.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you. I want to go back to I can't though for a minute, not to dismiss all this loveliness. It really is lovely. But I want to go back to I can't. And
where is it for you? Where's your I can't?
I'm trying to get it out there. I'm trying to get it out there. So for me, I have a plate and screws in my left ankle. They pretty much had to rebuild my ankle years ago. So for me, when I say I can't, if someone is asking me to do something that requires a certain range of motion for my left foot, I know I can't. Why? Because I just don't have that with these screws. Anybody have screws in any of their body parts? You don't get the same.
Not that I know of.
You don't get the same range of motion. So what I do is I make an accommodation or I switch it up and I try it a different way.
Pivot. Yep.
So the reality is I
Pivot.
can't if it's my left, but can I make an adjustment in the rest of my body to make whatever they're asking happen? Now I'll
pick me.
I'll turn it to you guys. Have you said
pick me.
I can't? And the reality is, if you made a little shift, a little turn, a quarter turn, a pivot, I love that word just because I actually pronounce it, and you make a pivot, even a small one, are you then able to accomplish the task that you set out to do? So it's not
absolutely.
It's about finding an alternative. And is that possible?
Yeah, but
in the chat.
Can I?
Sorry, Pat. Go ahead.
That is such an amazing thing. You know, I'm all about language. I feel like our language is magic. I feel like it really has power that we just take for granted, and that I'm always talking about how the word spell comes from the pagan days when to speak was to spell what you had to say, and it is magic because it has so much power. Mm-hmm. I think where you can make the biggest pivot to me, believe it or not, I think it's insignificant. I mean, not insignificant, but almost nothing, that you'll make a pivot in order to do what you need to do physically, because your ankle won't do that, right? What's really powerful is when you make the pivot in your mind and you go from saying, I can't do that, then either so I'm screwed or so I'll do something, I'll pivot, right? Instead of saying I can't do that, what if you said, my ankle won't do that? Because you're not your ankle, you're not the plate, and you're not the screws. You're you, big capital Y, you, right? And that can do anything. So what if we started to take a mindset that said, oh, my ankle won't do that. So here's what I'm going to do that my ankle can do. Here's what we'll do. And not take it on like it's you. It's not you. Do you know what I mean? And then we would really be in a world of I can. And because I never gets tainted by whatever body part we're talking about. There's lots of things that parts of my body just won't do. Like, my thumbs are getting, cranky and, no, I think it's arthritis actually, but I'm looking into it with the orthopedist. And I've got a grumpy shoulder because I pulled a rotator cuff thing, and it's like there's some things I can't do with my shoulder right now. There's some things like I can't clip my fingernails right now. That's why I look like Howard Hughes. I can't clip my fingernails because it hurts. I gotta go get somebody else to clip them because I can't do it right now with my thumbs. But to say I can't do it like I just did, right, is what we're all used to. But what if I say, oh, clipping my fingernail doable for me because my thumbs won't do that. So what I do is my thumbs won't do that right now. I know it sounds
that's
minimal,
great.
but I think it's maximum. I think it's maximal.
Because you're pointing to the exact, like you said it perfectly. The I can't talks about the big I, the all of us in every single aspect of life, mind, body, soul, physical, you name it. But when you point to that particular thing, like you were saying, my fingers at this moment are unable to do this action. This ankle at this moment, or this ankle has been, fixed in a way that is unable to do this movement. And this part of my bodies will be doing X, Y, and Z instead. It is pointing directly to the reality. And we speak like I, in the whole of it, are unable to do anything. So, I
right.
love
Like, what if we left our identity out of it?
Yes.
Right.
That's really, I love that.
Interesting.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Regina.
No, great.
I like
Raquel,
it's just it's a shift in words. Instead of making you the focus, that body part.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is for other people. It may not be a body part. It may be something that you feel you really can't do. But if we shift it, because it may be a task that you're trying to accomplish, like Lexi with her home, I can't do this. And it wasn't that she couldn't do it, it's that she got it wrong. She can do it. Maybe she didn't take her time. Maybe we can come up with a gazillion reasons, but it's doable.
Yes.
And that's the point.
Right.
It may not be doable the way we think in our own heads, that it's got to be done this particular way. And does it really? I mean, like, I talk about my ankle, but I do so many things that ankle to either you're going to get to the point where you can get to, and then the right foot, you're going to have to take some pressure. This is how we're going to do our teamwork. But is it
teamwork? That's right.
Or is it that you just don't want to? That's the other part of it I want to get to.
Oh, I love
That's
that.
the part you were pointing at. That's the part you were pointing at before. I thought, like, what's wrong with saying I can't? Like, well, maybe I don't. And I or sort of picked up on that. And I think that's wise to know. Wait a second, is it I can't or I won't?
Or I'm on it. Yeah.
Which is it? Which is it? Because at least, okay, if it's I won't, at least it's I won't on purpose.
Mm.
If it's I can't, if it's I won't, disguised as I can't, who's the maroon? Who's the schlemiel? Me, because I'm the one that's the house always wins. I'm the one that's losing money on that bet. The truth is, I won't.
Hmm.
But I'm walking around like I can't. No, I won't.
And it's
Now it's hard for
interesting.
people to own that.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Hi,
what we're
Michael.
talking
How
about.
are you? Thanks for joining.
I love that because that's what
Hard
I
for
was
people to own
pointing
that.
for before about the power part of it, right? Like to have power in that. And I'm going to just jump on for a sec about moms. So I have a ton of people in my life, and growing up, you know, we're around people who are like, we're at a baby shower and all this thing. And everybody kind of, there's this inherited, I say this often, inherited, uncommunicated, but we've inherited it as the truth conversation of when are you having kids? 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 And I will never forget this. I mean, no joke. One long table, there's 6 of us, like 3 and 3. I mean, the table goes longer. And 2 women were straight up like, I don't want to. Like, I don't want to. Like, they chose powerfully. They know them, not that they can't have them.
Right.
They chose powerfully that they didn't want to. And oh man, see, I'm getting tingles on it, right? Let me tell you, you're in a group of women who are all around that same age and having kids, and you got everybody's opinion. And I was in that moment in time where, yes, I was a mother being married, and that person had a child. And I was also still at that age where technically I could have kids. And everybody was looking at me like, you know, well, she's going to say the one because I'm a social worker. And I was like, I don't know. I said, I don't know if I want to. And it was like, and I feel for people. And that's what I'm talking about. I love this, Raquel. Like when you were powerful, like, yeah, like I choose. No, like that's not for me. That's, and I support you, but that's not for me. And there's power in, it's not like I can't. I choose powerfully. I do not want to. And I think that's the distinction from I can't to I do not want to. And then Patrick, what you were saying is that little, that kind of little where it gets gray. Is it I don't want to because there's fear and, you know, and all that stuff like Lexi and all the failure? Or is it like, you know?
Yeah, I mean, is it
Yeah.
what is it? There is the default. I can't. Is it the I actually can't because there's a plate in the thing? Is the and a screw rattling around somewhere in my head?
I was screw loose.
Is it? Is it? Sometimes I hear it rolling around in there. Is it? I don't want to. Is it? I won't. You know, there's a bunch of things, and a lot of human beings won't step up to I won't. They'll feel it, they'll act on it, but they won't admit it because it's a confrontation, or then they're going to be made wrong, or then they're whatever. And of course there's mischief in that because then they're not living on purpose. They're not living honestly. They're doing the old soft shoe, you know, well, I'll just tell them that I'm, you know, busy and I won't actually say that I can't, I don't want to go or whatever, you know, it is that thing. And God, those things clutter up our lives. And this is the year for, I think this is the time of year when we naturally go, all right, what do I not need anymore? You know, what can I jettison? And what do I want? And, and then, by the way, there's another kind of I can't, which is the circumstantial kind of I can't, which sort of the sister of I have a plate in my ankle, which is I can't because I don't have enough money. Or I can't because I don't have enough time. And I have seen really extraordinary results from people who start to wrap their minds around, wait a minute, is it I can't? Or I think I can't? Is it I only have, you know, $5 in the bank, so I can't afford this $30 course or whatever it is, versus I have $5 in the bank and I'm going to take this course. How do I do it? Or whatever that looks like, whatever, I made that example up. But people have it that what they just jump right to, well, I guess that's it. I can't, I'm broke or whatever. And they don't actually look past it to, and just past it are all kinds of doors waiting to open. I know because I've seen it too many times to have ever counted in my 61 years. Just way too many times to see proof of it. It exists in nature. It's a natural phenomenon. Just go a little further past I can't. That finite dead end place, and boom, you're in a place where there's actions, and opportunities for actions just suddenly start to show up. It's so that's another kind of I can, especially in the new year, you know. Oh, I spent so much money on the holidays, oh, and I can't, or I can spend money on other people, but not on myself.
That's a whole other conversation.
That
is a whole
That's true.
Conversation. I will say that used to be me. I'll raise my hand on that. I'm not embarrassed or ashamed.
Really?
And raise my hand. Used to be. Hear that? Yes.
Yeah.
Used to be. Yes. No
you
more.
know, I can't even picture that now.
Oh yeah, because you know me now. You didn't know me then.
Yeah.
But listen, we want you guys to remember Saturday, January 27th, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Leap into the New Year webinar. You're seeing the three people that are running that will be running the webinar on Saturday. We'd love for you to join us. We'd love to support you in whatever it is you want to leap into and get started. If you started and still need a little push, wherever you are, it's okay. We would love for you to come and join us, get some information, and apply it. Just don't get the information. That's knowledge. Wisdom is the application of the information or the knowledge that you've acquired. Patrick, thank you so much for always supporting us here at Rise and Thrive Together. Thank you for coming on and dropping nuggets about this I can't. And let's switch it up. Is it that you don't want to or you won't? Let's switch it up. And let's have the real conversation with ourselves. Okay, can we do that, good people? Fantastic. Remember, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.